Cyberpunk in a house, in a home. I'm JonJonTheWise. You're joining me again, and today I have a very special guest. Arnag is here with me. Before we get into this live chat, make sure you guys go to the Discord community. The link is in the description below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JonJonTheWise, and like and subscribe to the video and all that stuff, of course. Patreon.com/JonJonTheWise if you want to show your support for your boy. As you can see, I have a very supportive friend group going on here with Arnag. And Tabletop Cyberpunk, the podcast. I always have new episodes coming at least every week, hopefully. I got some interviews coming up, so you guys should be able to enjoy that. All right. Well, Arnag, thank you so much for joining me in this live chat.
You're very welcome.
We're standing in his balcony, or a balcony. I shouldn't dox you, huh?
So we're at my balcony.
We're at his balcony, so if you want to dox him and find him and assassinate him, it's on you. But be warned, he's not an easy target, okay? He's not an easy target. So hope you guys have had a wonderful week. Arnag and I are just here to answer some questions, talk about things. For some of you, the OG members of the channel, they've been asking about you. They've been like, where's Arnag? When's he going to come back on? That guy's cool. He's fun. I love him.
Wow.
Yeah, you got a fan base going on in our community.
I'm very surprised. I thought everyone was just going to think I'm an asshole.
Well, I think there's a little bit of that too. I think there's a little bit of that because you are obviously an asshole. And I found a quarter in my pocket and I'm going to give it to you. Can you guess what year it is?
1994?
Damn, 97. I thought you were going to fucking Nostradamus me right now. Yeah, so usually I go on at a different time. Maybe I should just hold it. Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, I go on at a different time, but like around 8 o'clock. So this is a little bit late. But
By the way, John, this had a little tip off.
What does that mean? Tip off?
As in, you know how quarters now these days they have the state emblems?
Yeah.
This has the eagle, which was that was in the 90s.
Oh, so they don't do the eagle anymore. I didn't know that.
Do they? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
That's not the point.
That's not the point. Quick update. I just got an invite to the Monster Fight Club Discord. So it looks like Combat Zone will be coming out soon. Have you heard of this? Have I told you? It's like a little skirmish game, war game.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, it's a cyberpunk skirmish game. Do you want to go inside, or you gonna have another? Or?
Why, you want to sit?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm going to have another.
Let's have another. Okay, I don't want to hold it. This is annoying.
Well, here. Let's push this back.
There we go. You guys are getting up close and personal with my boyfriend. So Combat Zone is a skirmish game set in the Cyberpunk Red universe. It is made by Monster Fight Club. They make all the minis. I'm sure you guys know all about that. But the game's going to be coming out soon. And the beta rules are coming out today. So they invited me to the Discord. The Discord's going to be public too. It's all ramping up. So it should be fun. Will you play?
With you, sure.
I'm going to have every gang. I've like already paid for every gang. So I'm going to have them all. So if there's a gang that you like, let's run through them. What's up, Punk Generator? Good to see you. OG Cyberpunk 2020 guy right there, Punk Generator. There's the Bozos. You can play as some clowns. There is Cyber Generation, which are a bunch of kids with rocket launchers and shit.
I know what they are.
There's the Cops, Lawmen. There's like a secret one called Trauma Team that isn't released yet. What is it? Yeah, we'll get to it. What's up, Mr. Fogel? How you doing, man? Good to see you. And then there's three gangs. The Zoners is one of them. They all got like ski masks. Maelstrom and Tiger Claws. Those are the other gangs. It would be cool if they have some rules for like a custom gang. You can do the Red Hot Axe Boys.
Well, if you remember, I used to have a lot of gangs that I made.
Yeah.
One of which, or a couple of them. I mean, you want me to talk about?
Yeah,
them?
of course. That's what it's all about.
Let's see. The Night City Banshees. I like them. They're former solos, and they're all women. founded by a woman from what used to be in my story, the geopolitics in my story, is that there is no Iran anymore. It's now the Iranian district of the Eurasian Combine. And religion in my story also it's not banned, but about 80% of the world is either atheist or agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay.
She was still a practicing Muslim, and she was also in the Iranian military as special forces. She came to the United States and founded her own mercenary group, all women. And it became a phenomenon. They started taking on more women, training them. They became a pretty large gang. And they'll do things like hits, bodyguard work, what's the word? Delivery, things like that. For, of course, if the price is right. They're not cheap.
Yeah, that's a fascinating kind of gang story where it's like a bunch of women either like rising up because they were persecuted or endangered.
Only her.
It's only she's the only woman.
No. She's the only practicing religious person.
Yeah.
The rest of them aren't.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what I mean.
They could if they want, but it's not like indoctrinated.
It's not there's no indoctrination. It is a professional military company.
Gotcha. Yeah, in Cyberpunk 2077, they have this gang. I believe they're called the Moxies. Correct me in chat if I'm correct. And they're a bunch of, it's women only, ran by women.
Check it out. Just at work, I deliver ice in the Oregon heat wave.
And Oregon is in a heat wave, big pain. Oof. I'm sorry, man. So try to beat the heat. Yeah, we're in LA. LA's going through some heat too. It's terrible.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you, Fogel. Stay cool, man. But yeah, the Moxies, I believe that they were all ex-prostitutes or worked at a brothel, and then they decided to like rise up against their mistress and like become like their own gang, or the mistress ran the gang. I don't know the exact details, but they're a gang. Oh, they run the Afterlife. Have you heard of the Afterlife?
Yeah, it's a club.
Yeah, club in Night City. So they're like the enforcers there. What's up, Steven Odinson? Good morning, punks. What brand y'all smoking on? I haven't dove into the Middle East just yet. Mostly South America, so it's cool to hear about Middle East ideas. Well, first of all, it's only Arnag smoking. I quit smoking years ago. He looks like he's doing the Yellow American Spirits. All right, to answer that question. And second of all, Arnag and I, especially Arnag, he's taught me to play Cyberpunk in your own homebrew world. And I didn't even know of any other way to play like past that. You know what I mean? Since you taught me like, oh, you got to make everything. And I was like, okay, so that's just how you play the game. It wasn't until later that I found out that there's campaign books, there's lore books, there's modules and all kinds of shit.
Which I do not use.
Yeah, you don't use it. I don't use them either. I'm not against using them. It's just,
anyone can use whatever they want.
and I might actually use them in the future, but it's not something that, like if I want to play a Cyberpunk Red campaign, I don't think to myself like, okay, where can I get a piece of literature to make that happen? I just make it happen. Which, you know, everybody to each their own. But I believe everything you said about the Middle East, that's all homebrew, right? You just made it up yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure anything. I don't know anything about the Middle Eastern lore, actually. Do you know anything?
I don't remember anymore. I read about the Mideast meltdown a long time ago. But I came up with my own story. That I kept the Mideast meltdown, to make it quick. Part of the Middle East went to the Eurasian Combine. The other part they're part of the European community, and some of the states are independent, but the two major powers are Europe and the Combine.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, because Europe is a superpower, like the euro is what everybody uses, right? The euro bug.
The euro dollar.
Yeah. I haven't even run a campaign. I've just recently ventured out of Night City in my campaigns.
To Nevada, right?
Nevada, I did one. You played in that Nevada one shot.
That's right.
But now I'm in Texas. I'm like full blown.
That's right, Texas.
Yeah, Texas is where I'm at right now. I've thought about doing the UK and Europe and stuff like that, You know, I've never been there, and I don't know too much about the culture. Like, I know from movies and shit like that, and I guess that should be enough. But I kind of want to have some kind of like base point idea of what it's going to be like over there. Besides, there's so much shit you can do in the United States as far as exploring.
Well, typically I have my games take place in Night City.
Yeah.
If the group is going to venture out, it's just, going to be for a quick job and then they leave.
Yeah.
The reason why I do that is because your characters are settled in Night City. That they know everybody there, or excuse me, they know their contacts there.
That's where they have their reputation.
Right.
Yeah.
Outside of Night City, you don't have a lot of that
Yeah.
unless you're some kind of a fucking celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. Some kind of rocker boy celebrity, which, being a celebrity in Cyberpunk is really dangerous.
To me, I'm thinking. Remember how I told you the king on the chessboard?
Yeah.
Some characters are VIP. To me, the rocker boy is a VIP. He's the king on the chessboard. Reason why is because, I can't fathom how someone who's a musician, essentially is a musician, would go out on runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't-
maybe because they went to, because rocker boys are artists, right? So part of the art is embracing other aspects of it, like you can't talk shit about corporations and the man if you don't plant a bomb in a corporate building every once in a while. You know what I mean? Or else you're not the real deal. That's how I see it.
Okay.
The same way like Tupac and Biggie and that whole like West Coast, East Coast rap gang shit was going on.
Right.
It's like the same thing. That's how I see it.
Fair enough.
But I'm sure the large majority of rocker boys are just like musicians today, where they're delicate little snowflakes and they don't want to be put in any danger. They pay for everything to be done, and they just pretend that they're badasses.
Well, from what I read, real rocker boys, they're about causing a revolution.
Yeah.
They're about bringing social change.
Yeah.
It's an interesting character type, but one that to me, it's pretty linear. They're a rocker boy, like that's what they do, right? So if you want to play a character who does that, who wants to bring the social change through revolution, through their music, their presence, through their message, then that's the character for you.
Yeah.
But you can do, to my opinion, you can do so much more with solos, fixers, nomads. You can do a lot more with them.
Yeah.
What's more is like, with a rocker boy, if you're so easily recognizable and there's a hit on you, where do you hide?
Yeah, and you become a liability to the other players and everybody. I mean, anybody you work with, you're a liability to them.
A solo, you can disappear.
Yeah.
Fixer, again, you can disappear.
Yeah, I've seen usually when players play a rocker boy, they like playing I'm an underground artist, and I'm not like putting myself out there all the time. I had one player that was like everybody talked to. I'm Sam Ectoplasm. I'm Sam Ectoplasm. Like every single person.
Tell me about him.
So, spoiler alert, when he comes back into my game soon, I'm gonna be like, hey, so by the way, all that shit you went through, you're a celebrity, dude. I hope you know you're a celebrity because of all the shit that you did. And now when people see you, they recognize you. So good luck with that, and see how that handles. Let's go inside, huh? Young Bohemian idea to wear a dead mouse mask, like a mask like this. Gotcha. Yeah, that actually might be a good idea. That's I hope you don't mind that I move your camera a little bit.
How dare you?
How dare I?
I'll be back. You want some water?
Yeah, sure. You know what? That sunlight is no bueno. Put it over. Can't put it there. Whatever. I'll hold it for now. Yeah, but once you wear that mask, then you're that guy that wears the mask, right? So maybe. Hello. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm having shaky. Thank you, my friend.
What's going on? You need me to close the blinds?
Is that all right?
Of course that's all right.
If the rocker boy is the king, then who's the queen? Steven.
You know what I mean.
No, I think he's genuinely asking. Oh, it'd have to be the other one. See the sunlight? blinding us. There you go. Look at those beautiful blinds, dude.
Thanks.
Get this light going. There we go. That's much better. The queen would be...
Well, what does he mean by queen? Who's
Queen is a supportive character. That's what it is.
like the big boss?
The queen is the other than the king is the most important chess piece. It can go in any direction.
Because the single most important chess piece,
Of course.
you'll lose the queen before.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be any in the party that has the most experience, contacts, reputation. Because it's not just a solo. A solo is a solo, but if you can't make a phone call to get a favor done, then you're nobody in Cyberpunk.
Which means, like I've said it before, the three most powerful classes would be, or whatever roles, would be fixers, corporates, and nomads.
Mm. Yeah, fixers, corporates, and nomads. Yeah, that's true. Nomads are a little bit different in Cyberpunk Red. They're more focused on their vehicle than they are about their family.
I'm aware. I'm talking about, original 2000.
Well, I will say in my game, I run them like the 2020 way. If you have your family members and they're nearby and you give them a call, they'll come and back you up, even though that's not like a game mechanic anymore.
Well, I agree with you. And I've told you in the last video that we did that I changed things around. I made a big difference between contacts and your skills in combat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combat-oriented game, and it's also a game where you need to have connections. You need to know people.
Yeah.
Both are required.
Mm-hmm.
So I make roles pretty flexible in this way, in that, you will gain both.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. Young Bohemian says William Gibson's Johnny Mnemonic story also mentions a musician who changes up his look with facial surgery all the time, if I remember correctly. In that world, everybody gets cosmetic surgery. Well, that's the argument why they took attractiveness out in Cyberpunk Red. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and if anybody can look like anything, then what's beautiful? Maybe being ugly is beautiful now,
I get it.
Your argument that you told me one time is there is like inherent beauty that we instinctually feel. Like we look at a beautiful object, we know it's a beautiful object.
An antique versus
Exactly.
not an antique.
Or if somebody is born naturally beautiful, there's something to that.
That's a unicorn.
Exactly.
In this sort of setting and world. And again, the way I did it, I did change it to where biosculpting, this sort of surgery where you can look like anything, I got rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was, in my opinion, it just felt too over the top.
Mm.
So I do have surgery where you can change your appearance, of course, but it's not that simple. It's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to have the right doctor. I even have the notes on what the difficulty is and stuff like that. You want to get a really good doctor on this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want just anybody doing this for you. It became a status symbol for the wealthy. That's how I did it, where the wealthy can get beautification surgery from a magazine.
Yeah.
But
similar to our world, pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. I like to make my cyberpunk world reminiscent to ours, where it hits home. It feels like our world. I like to bring how fucked up our world is into what is the dark future. And the more you look into the more anybody looks into my story, the more they see that the things that are fucked up about our world now are in this story, and I'm highlighting them.
Yeah.
We are in the dark future. This is it. Everyone is like, for example, everyone was worried about the vaccines have tracking devices, nanomachines tracking devices. Yeah. Dudes, there's no such thing, and I'll show you why.
I know, they don't need...
Say hello to our tracking devices.
The Black Mirror.
We pay for our tracking devices.
Yeah.
Why would the government ever put tracking devices into a vaccine, which nanomachines are supposed to be like little metal things? What if they get in our hearts, lungs, brains? We'll die.
What if someone finds the nanomachine and then blows the whole lid on the whole thing? You know what I mean?
It's right here, dudes.
It's really difficult to prove that someone is tracking you on your phone at the moment that they're tracking you. We know that they're doing it.
We know they're doing it right now.
Yeah.
NSA is listening to me as we speak.
Yeah.
I pay for this.
Yeah, that's
we pay for our tracking devices.
If that's not Cyberpunk, dude, then I don't know what is.
We live 1984. It's here. It's done. It's over. We can't live without this. Remember a time we could live without this fucking thing?
Yeah, it was weird.
Those days are gone.
No, they're completely gone. I don't even know what that life is like anymore.
I don't remember anymore.
If I don't have my phone on me, I feel like a piece of me is missing.
So, that's just one example of what I like to bring into my stories, to show that we're living the dark future.
Mm-hmm.
We're there, and to my opinion, it's just getting worse with every passing year.
I think I like having biosculpting be available to everybody, but just like you can go to a corner clinic or a Ripper Doc to get something done, that's a big difference than going to a big hospital with fully staffed or a cosmetic surgeon of the stars. There's going to be different levels of biosculpting. You want to get bunny ears done? Well, that's probably easy. They get the bunny ears, they stitch it in, they add it to your neural wear, and you can move the little ears around. But if you want to look like a goddamn bunny, have the nose, have the mouth, and all that shit, you probably need a better cosmetic surgeon. You don't want to go to the corner shop and get that done.
I understand.
So I'll have like botched biosculpting going
Botched
on.
Barbies.
I had one guy who thought his name was Reverse, okay? His face was upside down. He got his eyes on the bottom, mouth, like, he just flipped he flipped his face, and he's like, I did it when I was drunk, I regret it. It's like a bad tattoo to him. He was in one of my Cyberpunk stories. And they're just like, dude, what the fuck? What did you do to yourself?
Well, why can't he get it re-reversed?
It's expensive, man. You kidding me? How many times you see somebody, they hit something with their car, and then they never get it fixed? It's like the same kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, sucks to be him.
Yeah, definitely sucks to be reverse. Let's see here. Pizza Man, what's going on? I have a PC named Revive Mouse. It's bad. All right. Valid point about nomads. Lots of sessions leading to where players need to drive, and suddenly no one has the skill. Yeah, I don't like that either. If you live in a city and you own a vehicle, you know how to drive.
You know how to fucking drive.
Everyone knows how to drive. But even in the core rulebook of Cyberpunk Red, if your skill and your stat combined is a 10, so let's say you have a reflex 8 and a drive 2, then you don't have to do a drive check just to do normal driving.
Well, with me, you don't have to do a drive check to do normal driving, period. For the same reason, you don't have to roll athletics to walk.
Yeah, but if you want to do a maneuver, then,
If you're speeding, if you're taking a sharp turn,
Exactly.
if you're trying to shake the cops or whatever,
Yeah.
then you have to roll.
Exactly.
But if you're just driving from here to the corner store, you don't have to fucking roll anything.
Yeah.
Consider this. On a 1, that's a failure,
Yeah.
right? Okay. That would mean you get into car accidents 10% of the time.
Yeah.
Because 10% of the time you're going to roll a 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means at 10%, that means 10% of the time in the entire driving world, there's a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
That would mean out of 365 days, you get into 36.5 car accidents.
Well, they kind of changed that now because, as you know, in Cyberpunk 2020, if you crit or you fail, if you crit fail, there's a fumble chart. If you critically succeed, you roll again and you roll again and you roll again until God knows when.
Correct.
Now they only do one. You re-roll a die if you crit fail once or succeed once. You just do it one time.
I get it.
So I've had players roll a 1 and then roll another 1, so they actually passed. They failed upwards. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
So that kind of takes the 10% and makes it like, 6%, 7%, something like that.
It doesn't matter. The point is, the brass tacks is, if you're driving normally from here to the corner store, I'm not going to have you roll to drive your fucking car.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you just, put yourself in a terrible situation just because you failed to drive around the corner. You know what I mean? At normal speed.
And it's not even relevant to the plot.
No.
This is something LJ...
It's just an obstacle to throw at your players that is honestly not fair, in my opinion.
Well, beyond it being not fair, this is something LJN used to do. LJN is the single worst player / game master I've ever come across in my life. I'm not going to say his name for his anonymity.
Yeah.
But fuck him.
Yeah, we call him LJN.
Reason, I'll tell you why. This is a reference to the angry video game nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he in his Nightmare on Elm Street episode, he said it's made by the same company. We're not gonna say who it is, but it stands for Laughin' Jokin' Numbnuts, which is this game master. It fits him perfectly.
Yeah.
He laughs and jokes, and he's a numbnut, and LJN is a gaming company that's made some of the worst games of all time.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because he's made the worst games I've ever played in, with the possible exception of Catwoman and Dragon Guy.
Really? They're on that level? I thought he was worse.
From
the stories you told me, he's much worse.
By a nose.
Yeah.
I can't say.
At least Catwoman and Dragon Guy had a module that they were working with. So it's like we're basing it off the writers. You know what I mean? We didn't even give it a chance. We played one game with them.
Well, you know why we didn't give. I told you that they don't want to play Rifts. They're just netting us in so we can play their fucking Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah.
And I told you and you were saying no.
And then
paranoid.
I got pink eye for the first time, and that was it, dude. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're not gonna give that a chance. And never mind. The point is, this is something LJN would do. The shitty game producing man. Anytime you can't even start your car without having to roll your driving skill.
Yeah.
And that's in Rift/Palladium, where your level 1 character could have like a 52% drive.
Yeah. So you have to roll for everything.
Which means 48% of the time I'm going to be causing car accidents.
Yeah.
Why drive?
Yeah.
Why even fucking drive?
Why drive? Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a terrible risk. If half the time I'm a good driver.
Half the time, not even a good driver. Half the time you just do the
half
fucking
the time
thing
I
you're trying to do.
my car. All right, Young Bohemian. Been playing 2077 again, and I love how they handle the nomads with the Pan Am character. Strong focus on both motors and family. Yeah, the focus on family is a very 2020 aspect of the game. In Cyberpunk 2020, one of the most overpowered characters is the nomad, because mechanically, you can call on like your entire family.
Hold on, John. Let me back you up.
Yeah.
Let me back you up.
Find it.
Check this shit out.
But yeah, basically, you can mechanically call the same way we have backup for the lawman in Cyberpunk Red. The nomad had a power called family, where they can call upon their family members to come and back them up in any situation.
I haven't looked in this book in a while.
The roles are. Is it after the life path? Shouldn't it be before?
I'm looking for the special abilities.
Yeah, special abilities. That's right.
Okay, hold on. Where are you at? Here we go.
Yeah.
Family. This is the ability to call upon resources and help of any of the members of the nomad's large extended tribal family. This can be in the form of weapons, cash, information, or a small army of relatives. The threat of a nomad family's vengeance may in itself stop harm to the nomad. The higher your family ability, the more important you are to the family, and the more help you can call upon. With a family status of +2, this is just a 2.
Yeah.
You might be able to get several of the pack to help you wreck a town.
Jesus, at a +2, you can take out a town?
You might be able to get several of the pack to help you wreck a town. With a status of +7 or 8, you are able to make major pack decisions and lead troops.
Yeah, so the emphasis is that your family is so powerful that people just don't want to fuck with you. They're like, oh, that guy's from that nomad family. You know what? Just forget it. Why mess with him? We don't want any of that bullshit.
Same with resources. Look at this. This represents the corporate's ability to command corporate resources. It is used as a persuasion skill based on the blah, 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 blah. This could include bodyguards, weapons, vehicles, buildings, money, etc. Obviously, the more powerful the corporate, the more you can call upon at any time. Your level of resources determines exactly how much you can request from the corporation without overreaching yourself. Resources of +2 might get you access to a company car. Okay, so at a +2 nomad, you can wreck a town.
Yeah.
At a +2 corporate, you can get a car.
You might get a car.
Maybe.
Yeah. Jesus. So the nomads can wreck the town and steal the cars.
There you go. An ability +6. And that's kind of reversed now.
Yeah.
Where the nomad gets the car.
Yeah, now the nomad gets the car, yeah.
At an ability of +6 might allow you to use a company jet or hire a solo team from the corporate security division.
Whoa.
So in other words, at a +6, you can call a strike force.
Yeah, which is still not a small army that
Which-
can take out a town.
It doesn't matter, man. That's a 3-man Black Ops solo team.
True, with a jet, I mean, it can drop a payload.
I would imagine a strike team would personally imagine a strike team would come with an AV.
Yeah, AV, explosives, all kinds of stuff. All
Yeah,
kinds of nasty shit.
this can be a lot of damage.
Yeah.
At a resource +9 would allow you access to almost all levels of a corporation, as well as the ability to requisition almost any corporate resource.
Mm.
Okay, so.
But I expect that at a 9, to be honest with you.
But the point is, I can have a character with a +9. Why would I ever do runs?
Yeah.
Why would I ever, in 100 years, why would I ever do runs? My character's done. He's retired.
Somebody from the Facebook group asked us. He said he had asked, "How do I convert my 2020 players to red? They're all like level 10 charismatic impact, level 10 on their special abilities."
You don't.
And I said, "Yeah, I mean, you could just transfer them over with the same stats, and now you're running like a end game campaign. They're talking to world leaders. But I mean, that's difficult to do.
It's boring.
It is boring, in my opinion, but maybe some people want to do that.
I like playing very gritty.
Yeah.
I like playing a sort like a criminal drama, something Scorsese. It feels like Scorsese. Sorry. My stories, I like to combine Scorsese with William Gibson.
That makes sense. Yeah, I get that vibe actually. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense from the way we played. But yeah, the idea is that you work your way up.
Yeah, you don't convert. To my opinion, you're not meant to convert characters with 10 this and 10 that. Just take your characters.
Yeah.
Take the characters, the names and everything, and just make them new characters.
I suggested that he makes new characters that are descendants of those other characters in some shape or form, and maybe they can pass down like heirlooms or items or something down to those starting characters. Because the way he made it seem was like they don't want to start from scratch.
Well, tough shit.
I know.
That would have been my response. You don't want to start over? Well, then we're just gonna keep playing 2020.
That's what I said. I said you should just keep playing 2020 if you don't want to change it.
If they don't want to go into a new game, because that's what it is. 2027 is a new game.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to play new characters in a new game in a new world, then just keep doing what you're doing. It's been working all this time.
I need to catch up on chat.
Go ahead.
There's so many here. Attractiveness was definitely a problem when I had a player who wanted to be half cyborg monkey and have attractiveness 8. Curious what Arnag thinks of red now that it's out. It's Cassim, by the way. We played once together. Oh yeah, that's the kid that we played with. He was sitting right next to me with the glasses.
And the ring?
Did
he have a nose ring?
I think he did. Yeah.
He asked me for a smoke, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh wait, how did he put it? Pretty please with extra sugar on top.
Did he?
Was that you?
That's probably him, if that's Jermaine. So first of all, that whole attractiveness thing is like I want to look like a cyborg monkey and be attractiveness 8. Like I said, beauty is subjective, and maybe people think that he looks cool because he looks unique. We can spin it and make it work.
Or you could take control of your game and say, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Yeah.
You could say
in my world that doesn't really work.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing how a monkey person could have an attractiveness of an 8.
Yeah.
For the same reason I don't see how a bug person or a dragon person or a shark person can have an attractiveness of an 8.
Yeah.
You want to get the surgery done, your attractiveness takes a drop.
Maybe you
don't like it, don't do it.
Maybe you can have variable attractiveness where it's like in certain circles people find you attractive, but in the general public, you're not attractive.
But that's extremely subjective. And also, you remember how I did attractiveness.
Yeah, I remember you did it a little bit differently.
The way I did it was I have the primary stats and I have secondary stats. The secondary, I'm not going to go into full detail, but one of the secondary stats is attractiveness.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between primary and secondary is in primary, you're either given the points and you allocate them where you wish, or you roll the dice, whatever. Secondary stats, you choose. You choose what you want them to be. And having a higher or lower stat in the secondaries gives advantages and disadvantages, likewise advantages and disadvantages for being high or low. With a high attractiveness, you have the advantage of course, being able to persuade, seduce, and things like that. The disadvantages are you're not likely to intimidate anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're a pretty boy. What else?
Well,
You're easily identifiable in a crowd.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be really bad for you.
Yeah.
But on the lower spectrum, if your character's ugly, then it's opposite. Your seduction and persuasion, all that, they take a dive. But you have a higher intimidation, and you're still easy to spot in a crowd. Now, if you choose to go average in between, you get no bonuses or negatives to anything, but it's harder to identify you.
Yeah, basically, what Arnag is talking about is his own homebrew version of what attracted. He did a whole homebrew Cyberpunk 2020 game from that he spent hours and hours on. Eventually, we got to play it.
We will.
So
I think that's one of the reasons why I stopped even bothering, because no one's playing it.
well, no, yeah, you're talking about a 30-year-old game that has a new version now. Which, by the way, Cassim was asking, what is your opinion on Cyberpunk Red?
I mean, I gotta be honest. It's not. I don't think it's for me.
There you go. I think that's okay.
I'll play it.
With you.
I'll play
You
it.
have played it.
Yeah, exactly. I can play it, and I have played it.
He has played it.
But
We've played multiple sessions.
I got problems, man. Like, you can't layer armor.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about.
Did someone say fuck Arnag? No, go down, down,
No,
down,
you
down, down.
didn't say fuck Arnag.
Figured.
Arnag. Jesus Christ. Where are we? Here we are. So yeah, you were saying about Cyberpunk Red.
I don't like how you can't layer armor. I have super armor, like skin weave, and I'm wearing a flak vest, and they don't stack. I'm like,
No, they don't.
what?
It's the highest armor value is what counts. But I think one rule that people aren't understanding or they miss is that your armor, if it ablates, like let's say I'm wearing a flak vest, and I have subdermal armor as well. The flak vest will be destroyed, but now I have a full subdermal armor.
John, by the
underneath.
time your flak vest is destroyed, you've taken so much HP damage that you're basically dead.
True, that is true. Yeah.
Well, another one, the closer you are to your target with a firearm, the lower your chance of hitting the target. Get fucking real, will you, please?
With an assault rifle, yeah.
That is
that's how
so
it is.
stupid.
Well, that's your opinion, and I
No,
understand.
no, it's a fact.
I understand, but we're talking about a game. This is a game. It has balanced game mechanics. And while I understand what you're talking about, how being in close combat with somebody doesn't make sense, a assault rifle is unwieldy in close combat.
No,
That's
it's
the
not.
idea.
It really isn't. In real life, it's not.
Okay, well, we're not talking about real life. We're talking about a game.
Okay, fine.
That's the whole argument. I understand what you're talking about, and you're not the only one that has these issues too. There's things about the game that I don't like either. And I just change them. But it's a game at the end of the day, and it has to have balance. It has to have things that work. There was things about Cyberpunk 2020 that were horrendous, that just didn't work, that we all had to change. And it's no different with Cyberpunk Red. There's things that we have to change. I just find far less to change in Red in 2020.
In the original 2020, I wanted to bring this up.
Sure.
The techie special ability jury rig.
Mm-hmm.
Check this shit out. This is the only, what I'm about to read is its only description. This general repair skill allows the techie to temporarily repair or alter anything for d6 turns per level of skill.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a permanent repair. After the elapsed time, the jury rig will break down. Okay.
Duct tape.
This description makes jury rig the single most useless or the single most broken special ability in the game, and I'll tell you why. It says here this is not a permanent repair. Okay. But it says here allows the techie to temporarily repair or alter anything for d6 turns. So does that mean I can turn a toaster into a thermonuclear device?
If you have the parts, why not?
Why do you need the parts? Nowhere over here does it say I need parts.
Well, it's GM discretion. Are you kidding me?
Not according to this.
Well, the rules in this game.
And it says anything, like a teddy bear?
But it says upgrade, right?
No, alter.
Alter anything to alter anything.
Alter anything for d6 turns. I can turn a car into a rocket?
I mean, if there's a way that you can logically make it happen.
And why would it break apart in d6 turns anyway? How long does that last?
Well,
Hold on.
d6 turns, that means 18 seconds.
Hold on.
That 6 is the longest, so
So
18
18,
seconds.
18 seconds. That's right.
So you need
So
a
at
nuke that
at,
lasts.
at maximum, hold on, maximum level, that's a 10. That's 180 seconds. 6 over. That's 3 minutes. Okay, maximum
No, no,
level,
no. It's
maximum roll.
D6. Wait.
D6 turns per level of skill.
Oh, yeah. So,
So
you're
at
right.
a 10, if you roll a
So
6,
you're
that's
10,
3 minutes.
180 seconds.
Now imagine repairing a car with this. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your car just broke down. You jury rig the car. It runs for 18 seconds. It's either the most ridiculous skill
or the most broken because you make it.
yeah, because it says
thermonuclear
right
bomb.
here. Over here it says alter anything. Doesn't say you need the parts.
Yeah,
Doesn't say so. You know, if I'm
I
going
get
to
it.
rules lawyer it,
Of
if I'm going to
course.
be a rules attorney, alter anything.
Yeah.
Okay, John, I'm altering you.
Yeah, I get it. But see, this is what we're talking about. This is where GM discretion is the most important thing. And they made that clear in Cyberpunk Red in the new core rulebook. You see that a lot. GM discretion is a phrase you see throughout the entire book. At that time in the 90s, it was assumed that the GMs would have their own discretion with things.
Right, until the rules attorneys got involved.
Well, yeah, of course the
Just
rules
fucked it all
attorneys
up.
got involved. That's how it goes. That's why those are called problem players, Arnag.
Get rid-
There's nothing wrong with the game.
Nah, get rid of them.
Hate the player, not the game. All right, let's see. Fogel, not only is it our tracker, but it's our little listening device. We also have the Alexa and Google Home things too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. We were talking about tracking devices. Young Bohemian, speaking of nano machines, have you had any experience using them? I feel they're sort of Pandora's box once introduced because of the possibilities. I plan to use them, but I'm going to seriously limit their power level through them being unstable and overheating very easily due to their tiny size. Have you used nano machines in your campaign?
Just what's in the book.
Yeah, I've used nano machines in my campaign, but they were an experimental thing that there was very little supply of, and it was like locked up in a safe in a corporate warehouse somewhere, and that's pretty much it. It's not something that you can find easily. It's not something that's readily available publicly because of how powerful it can be.
The only nano machines that I use are the nanosurgeons. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's medical equipment that only, medical personnel can be using.
No, you can get it installed. Yours forever.
Oh, that's the
Nanosurgeons.
that's the increased healing, right? Where
That's
you get,
it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about it. Like how would nano machines increase your strength, like in that in Metal Gear Solid or something?
Mm-hmm.
How would they do that exactly? You're still flesh and bone, no matter what.
Yeah.
Your if you lift a car over your head, your flesh is gonna tear, your bone is gonna break, your tendons are gonna tear, your ligaments are gonna tear. So I don't see how nano machines would ever prevent that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they would cause you to have that kind of monstrous strength to begin with. Like it doesn't
yeah.
make it. I don't understand
There's
how it works.
there's a lot of woo-woo magic, like suspension of disbelief that goes on between that kind of stuff because we really don't know.
And that's where I get big problems. My suspension of disbelief stretches only so far.
Yeah.
So with nanomachines, the way I do it is they're autonomous things in your body that react to certain stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
Nanosurgeons are the best example of this.
Yeah.
You're wounded, the nanomachines come and repair you. But to give you monstrous strength, I don't know how that works. Like, how does your brain? How do the nanomachines link up with your what's the word? Your
neural
not neural your nervous system.
Yeah.
How does it with your not peripheral nervous system, the other one, whatever, who cares? How does it link up to your brain and know what you're doing? How do they know that you're about to lift a car and to be able to compensate? To me it makes absolutely no sense. So I just have them be autonomous little machines in your body.
Yeah.
Their battery source is you. The heat from your body, the blood and all that, that's their battery source. They're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're yours for life. And if there's like a problem, if there's a tear, they will identify it and they will repair it. That's it.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the idea that also there has to be a downside to them because their power source, they're electronic, like an EMP device would render them useless or something, maybe destroy them.
I wouldn't count on that because they're EMP shields. EMP shielding.
Well, yeah,
technology
well,
exists.
maybe because you have nano machines, you get the EMP shielding. You know what I mean?
Each one, to my opinion, each one can be outfitted with its own EMP device.
Well, yeah. Now we're getting into the minutia of like what does it look like? What devices does it have within it?
Well, that's
How much power do you need?
Well, that's the way I do it.
Yeah.
To me, I just feel that it should attempt to make sense in some real life setting.
Yeah, but I mean, just inherently as a nanomachine, we know so little about them that we're just going off of like science fiction kind of mentality with it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
We're trying to make something science fake into science real.
But I try try to make it make sense, and there's a reason for that. Army guy, another guy who I'm gonna give anonymity to. Army guy was an expert at taking a game's rules and dissecting it, and doing all kinds of really outrageous shit. And he taught me that you have to be really, really careful that you don't put something in the game that can be taken and torn apart by the players.
Yeah.
And made into how can you say no? You can't do that. The referee put it in the game.
Yeah.
So if the players they see and they use their imagination and they make it into some game breaking thing, it's on you.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why I'm very careful.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna put anything in the game, then I want to make sure it can't be taken and dissected and turned into the chi monster. And I'll tell your viewers about the chi monster real quick. I don't know how many of you know about Rifts.
Palladium
Rifts.
The second RPG that I ever played.
I don't know how much you guys know about it, but there's another supplement from Palladium called Ninjas and Super Spies, of which there is a occupational character class called the Ancient Martial Artist. On top of that, there's a racial character class called the Natural Genius from Beyond the Supernatural, which is a whole nother
supplement.
Yeah, Palladium supplement. Now, the conversion book in Rifts allows you to take other Palladium character types and put them into Rifts. So, what Army Guy, being the mad scientist that he is, he made a Natural Genius Ancient Martial Artist. And what a Natural Genius does is they can use their PPE, basically their mana. They can use their mana to increase in level. So he ended up with a maximum level Ancient Martial Artist, and the character became an MDC, a mega damage creature, because he went through the rift. Okay, so you now have an Ancient Martial Artist Natural Genius who has the strength and durability of a tank, and because Army Guy is just dissected this whole thing, he went by the rules. He increased his character's level to maximum, and with every level, his PPE, his potential psychic energy, again, that's essentially mana.
Yeah.
His chi or PPE, whatever it is, it would double and double again and double. So
he had an endless supply.
Not an endless supply. This character had millions of chi points.
Jesus Christ.
So one day, Army Guy got tired of the game. He got bored with it. So he said, "Okay, I don't remember what that technique's called, where you punch down through bricks.
Dim mock or whatever.
Whatever the fuck it is."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna dim mock the earth." He said, "I want to put all 1 million of my chi points, and I'm gonna dim mock the earth." And LJN said, "Okay, the earth is broken in two. Let's make new characters."
Shit. New characters in a new campaign.
Yeah.
Not even just new characters.
So that's why I'm careful.
So I hope that answered your question. What's up, Neko? I was going to mention that. Okay, I brought in the blood cloud to my players, nanomachines that attack the cells. I just make them one task machine, also make them impossible to hack, maybe. Yeah, I don't see how you can hack nanomachines.
If there is no port of entry, you cannot hack.
Maybe if they're connected to one source, like maybe they connect to your neuralware, and then if I hack your neuralware, then I can control them.
If they're connected to, but again, I don't do that.
Yeah.
They're pre-programmed. They're port of entry. You cannot hack them.
Don't got to an apprentice get a tat done. Trust me, I know. Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
We're so that's on the biosculpting. We're so behind.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to catch up.
You know it's bad when you get pink eye.
Dude, it's really bad. Hold on, I'm gonna try to catch up to chat. Is that Arnag? Yeah, what's up, DG? That's right. Nose ring, smoked ass. That's me. LMAO. I remember. He remembers me. Yeah, so he doesn't remember you. What's up, Twiggy? Wow, your car looks so big. Nice car curtains. Thanks, buddy. House rules. Here we go. Kasim says, my big issue with the red, I'm guilty to admit, is there kind of a lack of player options in combat. especially if you play. Whoops.
Shit.
Especially, oh shit, I went.
I think you went. No. You went up. Go
Especially
down.
if you play in Theater of the Mind. I don't know. I disagree. I think there's multiple combat characters. There's the lawman. There is the solo, and then basically all the other characters, depending on what their stats and skills are, can be combat focused as well too.
First of all, Pizza Man, I don't know. I don't know why you're guilty to admit it. If you don't like it, say it.
Yeah, it's okay not to like it, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's no constitution here.
It's okay.
No, wait, go back up.
Yeah.
Because I wanna address this. I think what he's saying, to my opinion, Pizza Man, correct me if I'm wrong. I think what you're saying is that you have only very few options: shoot, throw a grenade, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Melee combat too.
Swing, evade, swing, evade,
Brawling, martial arts,
evade, attack, evade,
choke, grapple.
attack, evade. It's the same thing.
No, it's not evade. It's brawling versus
Whatever.
Yeah.
You get what I mean. It's essentially the same thing over and over. I get it, which is why I felt the same way. Which is why in my game that I'm coming up with, I just said, I have combat abilities that anybody can get.
Mm.
I also have things that I introduce that make combat more in depth. Like sometimes you want to do something in combat that's crazy, right? Well, I call that a kamikaze move. That's when, let's say, you're being shot at, but you want to raise your head up and shoot back anyway. Okay, you need to make a cool check to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's you
So
going.
you
That's
made-
you going kamikaze.
He's made, from looking at his manuscript that I've read, he's made mechanics for things that, like a GM would do as GM discretion. So like I might have somebody do a cool check, even though that's not a mechanic that's predominantly in the book. The book suggests that's how you use the cool stat, but it's also not like said. There isn't a part of the book where it says if you're getting shot at and you want to shoot back at somebody, you got to do a cool check. Doesn't say any of that. But for me as a game master, I might add that in inherently. But you've made it an actual mechanic in your game.
That's right. Another one I did was what the hell did I call it? It's been a while. Essentially you're sacrificing defense for attack. The way I do it is cover has a lot to do. Cover is huge in a firefight. The way that I run it, just like in real life, you got to be behind cover. It's mandatory. But the way I do it is you can sacrifice cover to get a better shot at your opponent, at your target, but you make yourself an easier target to hit. That's a tactical move. That's a tactical decision that you have to make, and I got a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
I like hitting the deck, taking a knee, getting out of dodge. There's a lot of tactical moves where you got to think. If I were to do this tactical maneuver, there's a sacrifice. Is it worth it? I threw in a lot of those because I think that it makes the game a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
And there are also, each role has combat abilities. All of them. I gave all of them their own combat ability because, again, this is a combat-oriented game. I think that every one of them should have it. All of the major roles have both a combat-oriented special ability. They have an environmental special ability. They have maybe social special ability. I don't remember exactly. But every one of them, they get something that makes them very unique, where they can use their environment to their advantage. They have combat abilities that they can use, plus the combat abilities that you can choose to take. You can be the kind of guy who berserks out, or you maintain your cool. You make tactical decisions, stuff like that. You might be able to help your allies through tactical thinking. You may be able to spot a weakness in the enemy through tactical thinking. Or you might just have a very high pain tolerance, and etc. I threw a lot of them in to make characters much more unique in a combat setting. Instead of shoot, evade, shoot, evade.
Well, I think there's a giant misconception. I think that what you're talking about is the most efficient thing to do on your turn most of the time is the obvious thing, which is shoot, evade, a melee attack, whatever it is. It's usually just shoot your gun. And pretty much in 90% of all my Cyberpunk combat encounters, even in Red, has been exactly that. It's just been shooting, you shoot that guy, he shoots you, somebody throws a grenade. and that's pretty much the combat scenario. But I will have to say that through reading the book and looking at the different options that are on there, and people on the internet from the community have asked me questions about certain things that are from the book too. There's a lot of opportunity for you to use all kinds of other stuff like special ammunition, special grenades. The martial arts section is like a whole thing that to go through because of the special moves and stuff like that. Brawling, melee combat, exotic weapons. There's a lot of creative things that you can do in combat that most people don't do because it's just so much easier to just do the one thing that works. The one thing that works is just shoot your gun until the guy's dead.
Obviously.
So that if that works, why would I alter why would I do anything else?
Exactly.
Why would I take chances and risks
Right.
and try something different?
With me, the chances and risks that you take, they will procure serious results.
Yeah, that's a different thing. So like what you're talking about is you make mechanics, which by the way, that's reminiscent of Paizo. I know you haven't played Starfinder or Pathfinder.
Never heard of it.
They have a name for everything that you do. They have a name for every skill, every maneuver, every mechanic, just the way you have names for them too. And even like games like Warhammer, they have names for everything. It's not just it's not retreating. It's fall back. It's not it's cut them down. When they're running away, you roll a certain amount of dice, and that's how many guys you kill.
I got it.
Yeah. So that
Charge.
exactly. So Cyberpunk Red
Countercharge.
doesn't have a lot of like this is the name for the exact thing, and it's like a flavored name. It's more like here's the general blueprint and tools of different things you can do. Figure it out on your own.
And I try to keep those names very cyberpunk. I try
Yeah.
to keep with the theme of it.
No,
And
I was about to grab your mouse.
hold
But yeah. Anyway.
on, he's saying he's not a big D&D fan.
Yeah, that's what I was actually addressing because he said he likes how in D&D you have all these spells, so you have a lot of options.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I didn't make it so like I felt like I wanted to do points, like mana. I don't know what I was gonna call them, skill points or whatever. But then when I thought about it, I implemented willpower points. I implemented luck points. It just becomes so confusing. I'm like, and I started thinking, how do you increase skill points? You put IP into it. Well, how does that work? You put points into rifle, but that doesn't increase your skill. I said, forget it.
Mhm.
I'll just make them tactical maneuvers. And now I've studied military tactics since I was a kid. I mean, I've stopped for a long time. But one thing that I noticed from reading the works on whatever, Napoleon, Sun Tzu, was with every advantage comes a disadvantage.
Mhm.
Hold on.
Bless you. Vaccinated.
Excuse me. With every advantage comes a disadvantage or a potential disadvantage. And that's what I tried to reflect. If, let's say, you've hit the deck to snipe, to make you difficult to see from a distance, to gain a vantage point, that's all great. The downside is you're not going to be able to get out of the way of shots. You're not behind cover. So if you are exposed, you're in deep shit.
Mm.
That's one example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Let's see. I'm gonna try. We're almost at the end here. What's up, Rensten?
What model is it? It's a 1982 apartment, dude.
I'm gonna try to get to as many questions as I can before we end. Twiggy says GM discretion and homebrewing are a major part of Cyberpunk Red. So much is left open-ended that it makes sense. You have to think outside the box. Mike Pondsmith even said that the rules are just there as a baseline for setting up the game, while the rest is left up to the GM and player.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I think the thing is, though, we live in a world right now where rules as written is highly encouraged because there's a lot of games that assume you're going to be playing rules as written. And Cyberpunk has always been, to me, a game that assumes that you're not going to be playing rules as written. And they write the book in a way where they think, like, we're just giving you guys ideas so you can figure it out on your own. Like, case in point, I didn't bring my book, but the tactics skill in Cyberpunk Red, the description says it is for giving orders and maneuvering on large-scale battles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that means that in a combat situation, me and you are fighting, I can't use that skill. Rules as written. I can't use that skill. Even though what I would consider a tactic against me and you is like knocking over these boxes, yelling out, "Hey, help me! There's a guy over here with a gun" or something. That's a tactic. You know, it's a crude tactic. It's not like a crazy genius tactic, but it's a sort of tactic. But according to rules as written, I can't use it that way. Now, I can just be okay with that and not have tactics used in my game unless we're, at a general's office and we got a bunch of things on a board like a chess game. Or I can say, you know what? You use your tactics roll, you pass your tactics roll. Everybody on your team gets a +1 to hit because you have figured something out about this battle. You have figured out an advantage that the enemy doesn't know about. And that's up to me to try to figure out how that works.
You can do that.
But that's not rules as written. That's not written in the book. There's nothing about giving bonuses. There's something about complementary skill checks that I'm stretching to make it work. But they assume that we're going to do that. And even just talking to the developers, that's what they expect us to do with the game.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I understand. I think that we're talking about different kinds of games. Boo boo boo. All right, I'm gonna try to go through all these. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, Rifts.
What's up, Brutalk? Ron the Smart. Arnag, that's who that is. Could I take a look at that combat abilities list, Arnog? I could shoot John my email through the DM. Do you want to share it yet?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go, Cassim.
No promises, Cassim. I don't know if I still have that list, but I'll send you what I got.
What's up, John Thompson? You need to storytell your combat experience second by second or moment by moment. Yeah, but you don't have to get too detailed, in my opinion. If you get bogged down, there's even been a time where Arnold's like, "I get it, John. The guy's dead." Anyway, this is what I do on my tech. I think you literally said that once, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
It sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah, it's like you and have said in DMs before, John. People are so used to D&D and having everything given in the books, whereas Red just gives you a baseline and says "Go nuts." Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I don't like having to choose a named ability to do everything. I like open-ended to allow creativity. Some players don't have strong imaginations. Yeah, that's the other thing.
You can do whatever you want.
Well, what he's saying is, personally, he doesn't like that everything has to have a named ability. Instead, for you to have like, okay, let's say I make an RPG and I say one of your stats is reflex and have at it. Whatever you think your reflex can work with. I'm not going to tell you anything else. Whatever skill you think, whatever ability you think that would work with, it's on you. And that's like the most open-ended creativity. I think other games like Pathfinder and Starfinder, they're like a Bible tome of so many abilities with names and down to the minutia and detail that it doesn't leave a lot of room for creativity because it's like they probably answered this question already. There's no need for me to make some kind of homebrew thing. It already exists in the book.
Well, the abilities that I'm talking about are they're like I said, they're
more mechanics.
They're tactical maneuvers.
Yeah, they're tactical maneuvers. Yeah.
They're like that doesn't mean that you can't do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of something that's outside of the listed tactical maneuvers, by all means, nobody said you can't do it.
The way I saw your thing, your own homebrew thing, was more like this is ideas that I came up with that I think will be helpful in case you're not. Let's say I don't know anything about combat tactics. It's something that you studied. It's
Right.
something that you made into mechanics. I'm coming into this game thinking, damn, what can I even do in combat? And you're like, oh, I already answered that question. Check out all these tactical maneuvers that you can do.
Yeah, I have a list of things that they're essentially additional options.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not like this list of of tactical maneuvers are, limited to.
Mhm.
Excuse me. It's not like they're limited to only these tactical maneuvers. When I said special abilities, I meant there are tactical maneuvers that everyone and anyone can do. And then there are certain bonuses that you can take, like for instance when you do full auto fire. There's one special ability that I came up with that makes sure that a certain number of.
I'll call you when I'm done. We're almost done. We're wrapping it up. Carol.
What the hell was I saying? Yeah, there's a guaranteed certain number of rounds that will hit your target if you make your mark. That's one example of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's bonuses. It's just flat bonuses, and it represents the direction that your character went in terms of his combat skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to bog you down. And you know what? If you want to come up with your own combat abilities, talk to your game master.
Yeah. Twiggy, last thing that we'll talk about before we end it here, guys. Twiggy wants to know your opinion on the Cyberpunk Red economy. I know you haven't read too far into it, but from what I've told you about what the economy is supposed to be, what's your opinion?
Is that what we're talking about now? The economy?
Well, it's the whole. Carol wants to know if you cut your hair.
Yes, I did.
They so remember I told you that there are set prices for things. Reselling things are reselling at the same value. If I find it's a trade economy, right? So for example, if I find a assault rifle on the ground, someone paid $500 for that assault rifle. I picked it up. Now I want to sell it. How much do I sell it for? $500. That's what the trade economy says. Because things are scarce, they don't lose value as long as they function.
Okay, I'm not familiar with any of this. I did not read the economy section of Cyberpunk Red. Here's what I do know. If you bring anything, I mean anything, into a pawn shop or try and sell it to some guy, if you think you're getting full price for it, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
It means you don't want it. This is a part of business. And I was a sales manager for 5 years, so this is something that I believe I have a good experience in. You're not getting full price. I would not pay full price, because if you're selling it, that means you want to get rid of it. If you want to get rid of it, that means you're going to settle for less. And if you don't, see you later.
Not only are you gonna settle for less, you have to settle for less because
I'm not gonna buy it for 500
exactly.
then sell it for 500.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll give you 100.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting him to go high. That's how it is when it comes to real adult.
And I'm gonna sell it for 600 because I'm gonna say this thing right here.
I know exactly what you're looking for. From everything you told me, by the look of the cut of your jib, you were in the South American conflicts here. This should be familiar. Check it out. Custom made handle with the scope and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. $600.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
so
agree
an
with
economy
you.
where it's set prices is an economy that does not work. That's never happened in the history of humankind.
Cyberpunk Red is a game that focuses on the fixer for trade. So the idea is if you want anything 500 eddies or higher in value,
I'll never get used to that eddies.
yeah, Euro bucks, so we can say bucks. If you want $500 or higher, you need a fixer. Period. Point blank. You can't buy anything $500 or more without a fixer. Fine, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that idea because there's a lot of stuff that you can buy under $500 just to survive.
You know what, man? I think that the game. Here's another problem I have. I know we gotta wrap this up. Another problem I have is this is just too roll heavy.
Roll heavy.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's too roll heavy.
It is.
You
Just like
need,
we were talking
you
about the
need to have a
Nomad.
fixer. Bullshit.
Yeah, you need to be a nomad to have a car. You need to be a corpo to have a personal bodyguard.
No,
you know.
I don't co-sign with any of this. In fact, if I've been trying, like in my head, I've been trying to get rid of the roll system for a long time, but I just can't do it. I can't find a way around it.
I've found a way around it. Basically, through talking to James personally. Which, by the way, if you guys want to listen to Night City Council episode 2, it's up on my podcast, Tabletop Cyberpunk. I forgot to upload it. But James told me that, look, you can do whatever you want with these roles and change them. But if you give everyone a car, then the Nomad is not as powerful as I designed him. And you know, if you're okay with that, then that's fine. Do that with your game. I'm just telling you, like, I designed the Nomad to have a car because in my mind, no one else has a car. So that's what makes a Nomad powerful. The fixer can do these things because no one else can do it. So in my game, anyone can have a car. The Nomad has the best car, has a car with modifications on it, has access to repair the car more easily. And everybody else that gets a car, they kind of have to go through hoops and ladders and all kinds of crazy bullshit to try to get a car.
Once again, it's too roll heavy for me.
Well, and I also gave the Nomad the family thing from 2020. back. So you know,
Okay,
so that the car is like just like a bonus.
because any fucking body can have a fucking car. Okay?
Well, it just not in the cyberpunk. You're talking about a world. This is how they designed that world.
Fine, they can.
You're talking about a 2020 world. You're talking about a different world.
Okay.
You've been playing it for 30 years. So
30? No,
when did you start playing it?
I believe I was 16.
So 90s,
So
30 years, my dude.
no, 20.
20 something.
No,
21.
Not even 20.
Not even 20.
No.
Well, around 20.
18.
That's a lot, dude.
And what's more is I haven't been playing all 18 of those years.
That's
man.
true. That's true. It's true.
It's been very on and off, very scarce. Not a lot of people play.
That's true.
Anyway, so that's my opinion on the economy. You can't buy something and sell it for the same price. That's not a business.
I agree with Arnag. I understand the design. I actually like the categories of like this is worth 100, this is worth 500, this is worth 1,000.
That's good because now you know what their general price is worth. But you know what? Demand goes up, price goes up. If supply goes down, price goes up.
Yeah.
That's how economy works, and that's up to the game master. The game master needs to be the one who follows up on these things.
Yeah.
That's not on the players. The players can only react to that, just like real life.
Yeah.
I don't set the prices for cars. If I did, I'd have 10 of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the economy, the game master needs to be on top of it. If you feel something should be more expensive, if you feel that demand's gone down for any reason, then the price goes down. Demand goes down, price goes down.
Yeah.
If you feel that something is very highly sought after or the supply is very low, price goes up. Having like a list of prices for items, good idea. That gives you a general idea. But economy changes, and it can change by month. Yeah. So just bear. That's all I have to say about it. Bear that in mind.
Yeah, and yeah, man. I think it's okay to have your own world, have your own homebrew, change the things around. I do it personally, and I work closely with Artel Sorian in a lot of ways. So you know, it's not disrespect to their design and their game. It's actually. This is my favorite game, and I'm playing it the way that I want to play it. You know what I mean?
That's the only way to play it.
Exactly. And that's actually how they expect you to do it, too.
Well, bless them for it. Bless them for it.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude our Cyberpunk chat. Thank you guys so much. You don't have any social media or anything, right?
Just my Facebook.
Just your Facebook, Arnog
Baboyan.
Baboyan. You guys
Arnag.
There's only one Arnog in this world. And but boy, is he cool. Hey! All right, guys. Have a wonderful week. Love you all. Thank you so much for the support. Stay tuned for some more stuff. I got interviews on my podcast coming up. And Arnog, thank you so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye.